Here we go. I was about to say, if this ain't the final chapter, I don't know what will be. Hold on, was it? What? The resolve of Ryunosuke Naruto. Yeah, I can read cursive still. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm born ready. Kinda. I feel like we don't have enough clues. Maybe one more investigation. So the time's finally come. Today, we unravel everything. Oh, did you not sleep well? You look sick. I'll be counting on your support. More than ever, Miss Sasato. My father's an adulterer. What? I mean, Sasato. Oh, ah! Oh no, what's the, is that your default? I didn't mean to emote, oh no. I'm, nothing, I'm fine. I was just saying I'd be relying on your support today, but... I'm so sorry, of course, I know. I can be rather incompetent at times. Oh, no saying that, I shan't let you down. Well, would you mind getting me to my feet? Oh dear, very sorry, here we go, okay. Gosh. Almost forgot that was a part of her character. Sasato-san isn't herself herself at all. That's hardly surprising. She just found out her father is the partner of a world-famous detective. Not to mention, she might have a sister or half-sister, I don't know. She doesn't look Japanese. Or does she? What? Good morning, sir. Huh? Who's near? Oh. Hey, dude. Lord Van Zieks.
Thank you for all your efforts yesterday.
Ah, well, that's the job. Wait, did I hear a thank you?
What?
Oh, nothing. I just hope we can clear things up today. I really can't make this man out. His face says I hate you, but his words are almost jovial today. Almost. In fact, he hasn't been very Reaper-like at all since this began. Maybe it's just my imagination. Lord Van Zieks isn't the Reaper, Mr. Naruto. Oh, did I say that out loud?
The Reaper? I suppose in hindsight, I should haven't allowed that misconception to go unchallenged for so long. It was my tacit acceptance of that pseudonym. My failure to stop the Reaper, becoming something more than a mere legend that led to all this.
But you're not to blame for it, Lord Van Zieks.
You say that, but
it's only because serious crime in the capital dropped off so sharply when the public started calling you that. That's why you didn't say anything, isn't it? How could you? I mean, not like accusingly how could you, but, you know, I understand it from your point of view.
To be frank, I'm not sure that was the sole reason.
What do you mean?
There was a rumor at the time that the Reaper was really the ghost of my late brother.
Oh.
Not having been slain by that evil killer, Clint Restless Spirit returned as some sort of demigod to wield a deadly blade of justice, where I, by the dint of the law, could not.
You've heard that story too. Yeah.
When I lost him, I felt as though I'd lost my guiding light. I didn't know where to go or what to do. And so, in some small way, I won of perhaps. Those rumors made me feel his absence a little less keenly.
Dang, missing your brother that bad? God. This poor guy.
If even I knew it was just an illusion, just some nonsense conjured up by an over-imaginative public.
He was obviously extremely important to you. Lord Clint Von Zieks. Well, what's important now is uncovering the truth. That's all that matters. I know that you didn't take anyone's life. I'm like 95%. And that's not bad. That's not... Okay, in truth, it's 75-25. But I intend to prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt. 75... No, 100% of the time. The stats have been updated.
I never thought I'd say this. But I can see it in your eyes. That burning desire to cut through all the lies and deception. I can't deny it any longer. You are a lawyer of absolute integrity.
Ah, shucks. Even though I gave you some bogus math right there. All right.
Now tell me, why do I detect the scent of expensive tea leaves in the air?
Oh, hey. Some little Miss Troublemaker. I shouldn't tease her. She's been through a lot. She was visibly crying. I take that back. Sorry, Iris. Also, when did you get here? God, you look upset.
Oh. I brought you one of my special blends. Haley loves it. He says it helps him to clear his head.
Oh, for Van Zieks.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
Goodness. That's surely the first and last time I've ever seen a sight like this. Goodness. Well, she's smiling again. You seem different today. Oh, there it goes.
Oh.
Sort of subdued, I suppose.
I am not.
What happened yesterday is obviously still playing a lot on her mind. She's very clearly troubled about having stolen that autopsy report.
All right then. Good luck to both of you. I have to make a move now.
What?
You're not saying. What are you going to do?
I thought you'd want to watch today's proceedings. Oh, it's a close court, keep calling him Leonardo.
I'd like to cheer you on, obviously, but I've got lots to get ready.
But you're getting ready for what?
Oh, yes. Would you like to take this?
What? Is that one of those felt dolls that's hanging, always dangling from your knapsack?
Mm-hmm. It's a lucky charm. A little Hurley that I made once.
A Hurley? Looks more like a Harley to me. Oh, you.
If for some reason you're completely run out of options in today's trial, then just pull this little Hurley's ears as hard as you possibly can.
Won't that rip his head off? Pull his ears.
That's right. It's a way to bring good luck. I think you might need it.
I thought you were supposed to rub a rabbit's foot, not to rip his head off, but alright. Iris's lucky charm. Been told to tug on it when things are looking bad. Okay. Sure thing.
You think what we'll need is luck? I just sneaked a peek inside the courtroom. And it seemed very different to normal.
What does that mean?
It would seem that a certain someone has decided to pull out all the stops.
What?
I guess you'll see soon enough.
What about Mr. Sholmes, Iris? Where's he? I don't know. He was out all night, and he hadn't come home by the time he left this morning.
Oh my goodness, all-nighter.
Oh, I see.
Was Professor Mikotoba out all night too? Do you think, Mrs. Sato?
Yes, it seems so. I telegrammed the hotel this morning. And apparently, they didn't come back to their rooms last night at all.
They?
Father and Judge Jigoku, I mean.
All three of them together doing something?
That's right. Nobody appears to have seen either of them since yesterday.
Odd. I get in here, bruv. It's going on. Widow without ya.
Good luck then, Runo. Good luck, Susie.
Yes. Thank you, Iris.
And you, Mr. Reaper. I hope it goes well.
It's just his name now.
Once again, I thank you for the delectable tea. It was very soothing.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Dang. Final trial. This time, without Iris. Ugh! I mean, come on. Sasato's got us.
We must go inside, Lord Van Zieks.
Oh, goodness. This game is crazy. My heart's pounding and it's just text on the screen. Lord Van Zieks has always been the formidable prosecutor I've had to lock horns with in court. But not today. Today I battle with another in pursuit of the truth. My best friend, Kazuma Asogi, who I trust more than anyone else in the world. Now I understand what it is that drew me here to Britain all those months ago. Now I know exactly what destiny had in store for me. It's all been leading up to this one day, to this one trial, to this one final reckoning. Dang, I actually got goosebumps. Well, come on, what happened to the courtroom? Don't keep me in suspense. Or was it like a figurative thing? Like they're pulling all the stops, you know? Like they're just... I'm guessing some physical change, but no, there is nothing. Wait, where's the judge? Excuse me? Feels even more oppressive here than it did yesterday. Their cold stares piercing me like knives, from all sides.
Mr. Naruhodo, look.
No! No! Not you!
Save your voice, Naruhodo, you'll need it.
Kazuma must have known beforehand.
The ramifications of this trial now extend far beyond the murder of one Scotland Yard inspector. In fact, events have come to light that threaten to rock the very foundations of our country's legal system. The escape of condemned criminal on the night of his execution, and the subsequent unlawful shooting of the man, and the revelation that prison staff must have been complicit in the jailbreak. Britain is currently hosting influential members of the judiciary from countries all around the world. It is imperative we uncover the truth in these proceedings to avoid international embarrassment. By royal decree, this will continue to be a closed trial.
Oh my god, stand up.
And one over which I, male Strongheart, exercise total and unequivocal authority.
Oh, now he's just being dramatic. You know, you don't have to have that. You're just wasting gas, buddy. You know how expensive the gas is? We had a case establishing. It ain't cheap. The 6 juror flames. Why? What's this? Yu-Gi-Oh!
As was the case in yesterday's proceedings, those here present in the public gallery are distinguished members of our judiciary, assembled to bear witness to fair judicial process. In other words, a collection of your acolytes, Lord Strongheart.
Oh, dang, Zieks. What are you saying, buddy? Of course Strongheart's gonna be unbiased, right?
On a personal note, I find this most distressing, Lord John Zieks. You were a prosecutor of exceptional talent. Much like your brother, Clint, in fact.
Had to bring that up.
Ah! What? In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. For the trial of Baroque von Zieks, who officially stands accused of murder.
Well, I mean, let's get it. I'm not scared. I'm not gonna game over it. I totally know how it happened.
Counsels for the prosecution and defense. Are you in full readiness to proceed?
The defense is ready, my lord.
As is the prosecution. Yesterday's proceedings brought to light a shocking and disturbing fact. There was a side to the victim, Inspector Tobias Gregson, that was unknown to his superiors at Scotland Yard. Yes, he was carrying out operations in secret, which Scotland Yard knew nothing about. And in those clandestine operations, he had an accomplice.
Mr. Daily Vigil, who had been given the inspector's identification and present himself around the capital in order to establish credible alibis for Gregson. In that way, Gregson appeared to be carrying out his regular Scotland Yard work, when in fact he was not.
At the end of yesterday's season, Mr. Vigil, who had been suffering from amnesia, regained his memory. It would appear he buried his memories on time, deep inside himself, as a means of self-preservation. Because whilst he was engaged as a chief warder at Barclay prison, he abetted the convict's escape.
Is that really true? Mr. Vigil is currently recuperating at St. Sinners. He's recovering enough to give a signed statement about his movements on the day prior to the incident. Yo, can I get that? Can I get that? He's formally admitted to posing as Gregson whilst investigating the Red-Headed League.
Which brings us to the crucial issue of the victim's time of death. The defense yesterday proposed a suggestion the victim may have been killed one day earlier. This was based largely on the discovery the victim's pocket watch had not been found.
The prosecution has something to report on that subject, my lord.
Really? Go ahead, Asogi.
I met once again with the coroner yesterday to discuss the issue. She confirmed that the defense's suggestion could not be ruled out. Okay, we're on the same page. I don't know what that look was, Naruhodo. It's entirely possible that Inspector Gregson was killed on October 31st, the day before his body was discovered. I have her
I have here an updated autopsy report that includes the amended details. The official opinion of the investigation team was made clear yesterday that the time of death was 5 p.m. on the 1st of November. There are indications of an attempt to disguise the real time of death, however. It seems the nature decaying process of the victim's body may have been slowed by keeping it chilled. That's out of the question. There are no refrigeration devices in that part of London large enough to accommodate a human corpse.
Why does it have to be refrigeration? That's just mere conjecture. There's evidence to support the idea. We must investigate it thoroughly.
Very well. The court will accept the new report as evidence. However, if this updated report is deemed to be accurate, it would give renewed significance to the movements of the victim on the day before the Fresno Street incident.
It would, yes. Especially since on that day, Inspector Gregson was using Mr. Vigil to cover up his real movements. It's conceivable that he was killed in the course of his secret activities.
Do I sense that the prosecution has some information regarding these activities?
Scotland Yard put an enormous effort in investigating that precise matter. Oh, okay. Anything new? Like tangible? I think we should begin by presenting the results of that investigation work.
So the prosecution calls its first witness.
Let me guess. Oh, I didn't say it in time. That was my guess, though. Honestly.
State your name and occupation.
Inspector Gino Lestrade, reporting in. Representative of Scotland Yard.
A self-coffered rank, but never mind.
Gina? Again? She's been in that stand more than anybody, bro. She's used to it.
What's your promoter? What's that look for? What's that, Gina, again? Look.
Oh, wow, she actually just says that verbatim. I'm just saying, give someone else a chance.
The boss meant the world to me. He done more than anyone else ever did, including you.
Inspector Gregson, you mean?
He got me out the back slums at East End and took me on his wing. Taught me that life can have a purpose. So that's why I'm the best person to be standing here speaking for him. Oh, Gina, why? So much misfortune for one young girl.
Right, of all the goodness of Gregson's heart, not all that is arm twisted by Mr. Sholmes. No, it was none of that. Wait, what's that Mr. Sholmes doing? It's been so long, I guess I forgot. But the point is, yes, he's not an awful guy. He did that for Gina. However, what the heck? What? If he truly was carrying out these assassinations or assisting with them, holy crud. What's relevant to these proceedings is that the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigation yesterday was revealed that the victim was carrying out some assignment the police knew nothing about. Okay, so standard procedure.
Very troubling.
That face. Strongheart knew.
Well, Inspector Lestrade, let us hear exactly what it says in that report.
Coming right up, sir. Here it comes. Get ready.
It's turning in more of Valley Girl as time goes on. I don't know. I need to stay on brand.
All yard detectives are supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told. But a little search of the boss's office turned up a notebook. Had loads of secret meeting in it. According to that, the boss was looking into some smuggled good details that day. Looks like it was a big job and all. Copper weren't on to it yet. What's matter most is, there's witnesses what saw the Reaper at the place too.
Okay. Wait, they saw the Reaper? Smuggled goods? That's a lot!
I dunno, do I? I'm just telling you what was written in the book.
Well, just because it's written in there doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Tobacco, tea, spices, medicines. Goods of all sorts flow into London by illegal channels across the globe. It's well known they're disposed of regular black markets that take place in the capital. And the police are rarely able to locate them in time. So Inspector Gregson was investigating one of these black markets.
It's been suggested that high-ranking government officials may be involved in black market activity. No doubt Gregson was trying to avoid details of his investigation being leaked to the involved parties. That would explain why he was operating as his own authority, without the Yard's knowledge.
Okay, sound, logical. I like that. And do we know where the dealings were taking place?
In a particular room of a certain exclusive London gentleman's club. And on the day in question, the accused is known to have been there. That's the conclusion of Scotland Yard's investigation.
That's it? That's it? We haven't heard anything about any of this. It's kind of barren.
Members of the club have testified to it. There's no question. The accused Baron von Zieks was present. That would be...
Old habits are hard to break.
That'd be very significant testimony, then.
Oh my, but Lord Van Zieks has made no mention of this. A gentleman's club? I don't even know what that is.
In short, Lord von Zieks has ample opportunity to murder the victim. Very well, then. Counsel for the defense, begin your cross-examination.
Okay, let's talk about these goods. That is the most suspicious part. Because goods is one thing. What exactly were they? Smuggled goods. Tell me more, like firecrackers, maybe? Do you have any idea where those dealings were taking place?
Yup. It was all there in the boss's notes. Let's see if I can find and remember.
As I already said, the illegal dealings were due to take place at a gentleman's club.
Okay, I remember. I was hoping to find out the name of the club. Oh, that's what we're on about?
That won't be necessary.
What? How do you know?
It's conceivable that the club might be used again by the smugglers in the future.
Oh.
Therefore, the prosecution has been asked not to reveal the name in these proceedings.
Oh, I don't know what all the fuss is about. It's right here. All I've got to do is read it out.
Gina, no!
And I can do it too. I got the reading game buttoned up now. Can I show you what I can do? Go on. What's the arm?
Let's not push our luck here today, Gina. The judge hasn't signaled an objection. I could try to find out. Why not? Okay. This is a closed court. The proceedings are confidential. There shouldn't be any possibility of the information being leaked. So what's the harm?
As I explained, there is some possibility of politicians being involved in this affair. The prosecution is rightfully exercising caution, I imagine.
No, my lord. The prosecution has no objection. Kazuma?
There's no question that Inspector Gregson was looking into these black market dealings. However, it's not yet been established that he was on a particular trail of the day in question. If the defense requires to know the club's name, prosecution has no intention of being obstructive.
Okay. So if you don't veto it, Strongheart.
Right then. I get to show off my reading skills.
She's so happy. And they okay. Apparently you smuggled the goods at the gentleman's club called the Grouse? Am I saying that right? Hold on, I want to check. Apparently I said it right. It's a medium to large game bird, plump body and feathered legs. Cool. I don't know what that has to do about clubbing. The Grouse. What kind of club is that?
I got the foggiest. Clubs ain't my thing. But I am kind of curious.
They're not places where a foreign student like you would be readily admitted.
Oh, rub it in. Have you looked in the mirror recently? You're a foreigner too.
I'll tell you what. Me and Chief Inspector Toby could get an undercover.
Could you though? Gina with a mustache.
Oi, let me in. I'm a gentleman, aren't I? I could pick up a few good marks and see what else I could find out while I was in there.
I really don't think you should go picking out anything, Gina. Anyway, that's where the black market dealings were going to take place.
Yeah, it's got to be. That's what the lower ranked detectives at the yard reckon.
Lower ranks? Look who's talking. You're like the okay, that didn't get us anywhere. Oh crap. The Reaper. Why was he there? Lord Van Zieks at the club. What was he doing? Dancing? Crazy. Can't even imagine it. Maybe, I don't know. He's very flexible. He just kicks his leg onto the table. Sure, I can make it work.
He was at the club. Detectives who visited the club yesterday to make inquiries have confirmed it. Several members report having seen the accused being admitted to the room in question as a guest.
Okay. Looks like there's no disputing that he was there then.
Well, we know that Lord Van Zieks was investigating Inspector Gregson, don't we? Perhaps he already discovered the inspector's secret notebook?
Didn't he mention something like that? Which led him to the club, you mean? Maybe. Presumably, then there were also eyewitnesses who could testify that Gregson was there. Right? If the logic follows.
None have identified at this time. No. Oh.
So the all-important victim wasn't seen at this mysterious club. But the accused was.
Oi! Why ain't you asking Inspector Lestrade here? No one's talking to me.
So that's all I've got to work with. Not a lot. She's not holding back the ice-cold stare of hers. What'd I even do? I survived Toby's wrath. You think she'd be a little impressed?
I really don't know what to make of all this.
Lord Van Zieks told us that he was investigating Inspector Gregson, but he never much mentioned that he met the inspector the day before the incident.
You don't think Lord Van Zieks could be lying to us, do you?
That's not the only way to explain this. If everything Lord Van Zieks has told us is true, then there must be a mistake in the testimony. Okay, a mistake. Any details we have to uncover? Let me think. A clue. Perhaps that she hasn't noticed. I'll be honest, I'm kind of lost in the sauce. Let me think it over. All yards are supposed to follow orders, investigate. This one makes the book pop up. Okay. So the secret meeting's in it. Wait, oh my god. Oh my god? What's going on with this thing? Look at this dark stain. Do you think?
Yes, I'm afraid so. I think it's blood.
I knew you were gonna say that. So that presumably means...
This was present at the scene when Inspector Gregson was killed. It's the most logical conclusion.
To think Gina's been carrying this around with her. Does she know? If you didn't know any better. Suppose it looks like a grease stain from all the fish and chips. Yeah, right, but what's more confusing is this. What the heck happened here? Have you seen this huge gash around the side of the trunk? It's gone right through the leather and the metal.
Gosh, for a metal chest like this, it's been so badly damaged. Whatever made this gash must have struck the side of the truck, or the trunk with considerable force.
Wonder how it happened. Weird. Well, let's try and bust in. No harm, right? Let's have a look inside. Okay. Well, what is this? Look, there's something inside.
Let's see. It appears to be a passport, authorizing him to travel overseas.
Right, to France. Was Inspector Gregson about to have a trip?
Perhaps the date of departure might tell us.
Oh, what is it?
It was a travel for October 31st, one day before the incident.
Really? Okay, passport. Let's look at that in more detail. Gregson went to France the day before his body was discovered. Okay. And nothing under the trunk. Super. I know this is relevant, but it's a good thing we got it now. Tobias Gregson. Departure date within 1 week from October 31st. Why is it not an exact date? Port of Dunkirk, France. Personal travel business. Permission for the application of one personal person to travel. Okay. Additional. So someone was going to go with Gregson. I wonder who that could have been. Clint's autopsy report. Age 33. May 31st, 9 p.m. Death from a single stab to the heart. Other superficial external wounds. Indicative of a duel. So he fought back. Recent scarlet ink stains visible on the little ring finger of the right hand. No document and corresponding ink was found. Autopsy report, JohneAwesome. Credited Inspector Gregson for petitioning so doggedly for the autopsy procedure. No internal trauma noted anywhere in the body. Evidence recovered from victim's stomach during autopsy. Okay. What? Just, I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something. It just seems like a normal autopsy report. I don't see the significance of it yet. Okay, it does not paint a good picture, but yeah, I was totally stumped. Turns out you have to look at the letter of introduction, which we got so long ago I scarcely remember. But Professor Mikotoba, he, I guess, had this and wrote the letter, but on the other side of it, we're supposed to examine.
It looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. The SS Grouse. First class cabin. Yokohama departure September 11th. London arrival November 1st.
That's the boat Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoku came from in Japan.
I think it's called the Dunkirk, the north coast of France, for a night before finally arriving in Dover.
I think it's almost been a year since we arrived in the Dover of Burya. Seems a shame not to keep your ticket of a memento of such an occasion.
I agree. I have mine safely in my diary.
And I keep mine in my wallet. So I have it with me at all times. Well, how strange. Where could it have gone? Are you like this on purpose, Miss Naruto? Did I imagine it? Or was that comment accompanied by a little sigh? Why was that updated? I don't get it. It's the Grouse. Okay. So is it not a gentleman's club after all? It's a ship? Is that what they're saying? I don't know. Might as well. I don't feel good about that one at all. I've read about these clubs that exist here in Britain. As I understand it, they're places where well-to gentlemen socialize with friends and colleagues. Don't imagine for a second that a foreign student like... Okay, Kazuma, we get it. Mirrors. Have you seen one? Do we know for sure that the contraband dealing are definitely happening on a club called the Grouse? The police are currently looking for evidence, but haven't found anything definitive yet. And I'm sorry to say, they probably won't. What do you mean by that? I mean, that the police inspector Gregson was secretly going to visit on the 31st may not have been a gentleman's club at all.
You're showing a very irreverent attitude towards our country's police there, Consul. If I wasn't a gentleman's club, then what was it?
Somehow miraculously, it was a steamship! You think it's a ship?
Yeah, I do.
I got the evidence to prove it!
How did you discover this?
I mean, I don't... cheating?
This dark-suited young man is not the least bit untrustworthy.
What? The other side, my lord.
Oh, be more specific next time. This would appear to be a ticket for a passage upon a steamship. Yes, the SS Grouse.
Okay.
Objection.
What? What's the big deal? So there's a steamship named the Grouse as well.
What of it?
It's a popular bird. I'm afraid to say there's a flaw in your logic. How so? Look at the ticket. Notice the date on arrival in port.
The ship arrived at Port of Dover on the November 31st. Oh!
The day which the sound, like a gunshot, was heard on Fresno Street. In other words, on the day in question here, October 31st, when the victim was on his clandestine mission, that ship hadn't yet docked at British shores. Oh, darn it.
That would certainly make an undercover investigation challenging.
Well... yeah, I'm kind of on their side. What are we doing? Like, the fact their steamship hadn't yet reached Britain substantiates the defense assertion that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the day in question. How do you mean?
And show your evidence.
I got nothing.
In that case, counsel for the defense, present your evidence to the court.
Evidence that substantiates your claim the victim was investigating. Passport. Departure date. Within 1 week. Oh, dump, he was going to France. And he got on that ship to come back. Is that it?
What's this? A passport for travel issued to the victim.
How we doing?
October 31st. What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that just 1 day before the inspector's body was discovered, there's a distinct possibility he wasn't even in the country! Is him following into the sea... that's seeming more likely.
Order! This document is for passage to France. It does appear to have been officially authorized.
Day before the SS Grouse arrived at Dover, it docked on the northern coast of France for a night. According to my father, who was on board, at the port of Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, France? What could possibly have taken the victim there? I'm impressed, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm certainly didn't expect you to get your hands on that passport.
What? So you knew about it? What? How?
The prosecution strategy for this trial has been laid down by the Crown Prosecution Office. On the day before the incident, the victim was investigating contraband dealings at a London club. That's the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigations. And the line of the prosecution has been asked to follow. But, personally, I don't agree. I think the prosecution's office is trying to hide something.
Should you really be saying this here, bro? I'm kind of worried for you right now.
And now that you've expertly disproved their assertion, I intend to reveal what I believe that's something to be. What are you playing at, Prosecutor Asogi? A courtroom is a forum of the truth, my lord. Which is why it's my duty to present all the facts, without exception. Let me guess. This was your intention from the outset, wasn't it? The reason Inspector Gregson secretly made his way to the steam deck in France on the day in question was to carry out a mission for the Reaper.
Wait, what? The Reaper? Is this gonna tie back to the first case? No way!
What on earth are you saying, counsel? The prosecution made an assertion in court yesterday. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper when he discovered the location the man's secret hideout was killed. I'm sure everyone can imagine by the Reaper's hand. He didn't say it was... Oh, dump, he didn't say it was Van Zieks. But in reality, the truth is the opposite of that. Wait, now you lost me. Inspector Gregson wasn't investigating the Reaper at all. He was, in fact, acting for the Reaper.
You're saying the mission he was undertaking was...
Obviously, an assassination.
Abroad? In France? Or maybe somewhere else?
Baron von Zieks never carried out any of the actual killings. Whenever the Reaper's victim lost their lives, he always had a cast iron alibi. Which tells us that he must have had an accomplice. And you claim that was Inspector Gregson?
Wait, who said hold it there?
What the heck do you think he's saying, My boss would never do nothing like that.
And yet, when you consider all the facts, it all makes perfect sense.
No, it can't be.
We also arrived at the same conclusion, didn't we? That Inspector Gregson was operating as the Reaper. Even so, there's no way the person giving him his orders was Lord Van Zieks. The true Reaper's someone else. Has to be. Baron von Zieks is not the Reaper.
It's easier to say that, not so easy to prove it. A predictable response from someone who's advocating for the man.
And even if it's true that Gregson was operating as the agent of the Reaper, the suggestion that he went abroad the SS Grouse on an assassination mission doesn't follow at all.
Oh? You have solid reason for doubting the assertion, counsel?
Absolutely, it's simple. On the day in question, nobody was killed aboard the scene. Ryunosuke. Well, hold on. Oh my god. That's where Gregson actually died. Right? Professor Mikotopa and Judge Jigoku were on that very ship. If someone had been assassinated, I'm certain we would have heard about it. Pfft. What's so funny?
You're right, of course. No suspicious deaths were reported on the board the ship.
But just like with Kazuma, oh my god. You could easily hide it. Hide the fact that someone...
I think perhaps you missed the point. That's precisely why Inspector Gregson himself lost his life.
Oh.
Gregson did board the SS Grouse that night, with the intention of dispatching his mark. But his mission ended in failure.
Failure.
It seems that defense hasn't yet grasped a very important detail.
What are you talking about? Just tell me!
Inspector Lestrade,
What?
the victim's notebook that you read an excerpt from earlier. That doesn't contain details of secret investigations at all. It describes 10 years of assassination plots to be carried out by the Reaper of the Bailey.
You're lying. Even if all them bludgers what got taken out had it coming, the boss weren't the Reaper. Poor Gina.
There's no question that Tobias Gregson was heavily involved in the Reaper's activities. You may just be an apprentice. Yeah. But if you're spending any time at Scotland Yard, you must have heard rumors.
I ain't nothing. I don't believe a word of it.
Then testify again, as a representative of the Yard. Consider it your chance to defend your boss.
I don't.
I concur. The witness will give a formal testimony. Miss Lestrade, you will tell the court everything you know of Inspector Gregson's secret notebook.
Alright. We made it this far. God, I'm not gonna lie, this one's tricky to wrap my head around. We can pretty much put 2 and 2 together. That yes, Gregson died on the boat. And you know, boat is it is kind of cold out, I'm just saying.
This notebook does have a load of stuff about what the Reaper got up to these 10 years or so. Names of victims, date and places and stuff. And the last entry there was on the 31st. It said Grew for the place of the date and the name of the mark. There was a note about him being a criminal what got away from the Reaper and caught 10 years ago or something. But honest, the boss didn't do none of it. He was just investigating the Reaper, that's all.
Okay. Someone who got away from the Reaper 10 years ago.
Oh no!
Sasato's dad.
Keep personal opinion out of your testimony. We require only established fact.
I'll try.
That's been hard for her.
You can't deny it now. Surely, Ryunosuke Naruto.
Can't deny what?
The notebook contained the name of the final mark, location where the assassination would take place. That's information that the victim could only have known if you were working with the Reaper.
Dude.
So, who wants to be his final mark? Go ahead, Lestrade. Read the name. The name that's written alongside the entry that mentions the Grouse on October 31st.
How do you read this then?
That pretty much confirms it. Reading's not her strong suit, especially foreign names.
That ain't the problem, Odo. Oh, you heard that? It's a funny name and it ain't English. It's hard to read.
Let me guess, someone from overseas with a huge mustache. Not a beard, though.
Let me have a bosh. Se Ishiro. Yeah. Seishiro. Jigoku.
Jigoku! What? I thought it was... It can't be! Sashiro Jigoku!
But that's Judge Jigoku.
Sashiro Jigoku, certainly not an English name.
Actually, it could have, you never know. That can't be right! I know Judge Jigoku. I saw him the day before yesterday. Here in London. He's alive, right? So I know for a fact that man wasn't assassinated on that boat.
As I said, the Reaper failed.
Oh. I'll admit, it's hard to keep up.
Gregson missed his chance to kill his mark and return to British shores. But the Reaper wouldn't tolerate the mistake, so he killed the inspector. Personally.
What? Sense does that make?
The Reaper, of course, being the accused, Baron von Zieks. It's an undeniable logical argument.
Kazuma. You planned for the trial to go this way all along. Wait, Van Zieks? Excuse me? You can't do that! What's he doing? Oh, and you're drinking on the job. Oh, there he goes!
Hey, Forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollowed chalice whilst I stand accused of murder.
And you gotta admit, it's not a good look. You shouldn't, oh my god, what is he doing? He's acting like an Ace Attorney character.
I'm gonna act ridiculous while I'm being accused of murder. They'll surely believe me now.
The accused has no right to speak uninvited in the court. You will return to the dock.
I say nothing of whether or not I'm the Reaper. That's the task of the court to decide. But there is one thing I can say unequivocally. That girl is no detective.
Whoa, buddy. Friendly fire.
What? That's right, I ain't. I'm an inspector.
Repeating rumors heard around the yard. Reading entries from a notebook of unconfirmed origin. That's not testimony. It's practically a script. No doubt the rest of the trial will go exactly as you've clearly planned.
Wait, is he implying that... I mean, anyone can write in a notebook. You know, if we can't verify it.
Your hatred of me is understandable. In your mind, I'm sure I am the Reaper, who sent your father to the gallows. But you're in danger of becoming a far more sinister Reaper yourself, by attempting to have me condemned with this feeble excuse of testimony.
What do you say?
Mr. Naruto, this is our chance.
Right. My lord, the defense requests the defendant to be allowed to speak. He may be privy to important information relating to the testimony given by the witness.
Very well. I'll make an exception and grant the request. The defendant may remain in the witness stand for the cross-examination. Then allow me to toast the court's impartiality. Don't raise your glass in my direction, sir. Counsel for the defense begin the examination.
Okay, I can do it.
At once, my lord. Let's get to it. Though, did Van Zieks really say anything on, like, record? I don't know. Snowboard does have a lot of stuff. What the Reaper got out the past 10 years. Names of victims, dates, and places and stuff. Okay. Said Grouse was the place of the date, the name of the mark. There's a note. None of this sticks out. Yeah, Van Zieks doesn't say anything. Okay, let's just start here. I've really got to get in the habit of doing this. This notebook does have a load of stuff. The Reaper got up to these last 10 years. Okay. Oh, wrong button. Oh my god, I'm rusty, dude. Sorry. It's been a while. Okay, that's fine. In other words, it shows that Gregson was basically acting as the Reaper.
Not you and all. That ain't the only explanation, is it? He could have been investigating the Reaper in secret. And that notebook said what he found out.
If I may. When originally people began referring to me as the Reaper, I didn't object. I believe the power to intimidate London's criminals, classes, into compliance with the law to be beneficial.
But you carried out your own investigation of the true identity, didn't you? I mean, if you're okay with it, why would you do that?
Yes, and those investigations proved conclusively that Gregson was one arm of the Reaper.
An arm? What you on about?
The Reaper's victims were all extremely shrewd criminals, the top of their game. There's simply no way one person could have taken one alone. The Reaper is an organization.
With you at its head?
I had spies of the yard keeping me abreast of Gregson's movements, letting me know when he was elsewhere. So I'd been able to check the most recent entry. In this book, I knew the location.
Wait, you knew it said Grouse?
Believing it to be a reference to the Gentleman's Club, I went there on the day in question to investigate alone.
So that explains why several members of the club claim to have seen you there. And yet...
No Gregson. Okay. He was at the wrong location. Wait, that's an alibi! Right?
But of course the inspector wasn't present, because at the time he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport here.
Very well, then. like your testimony about the contents of the notebook.
Fine. Is something wrong, Mr. Naruto?
No, I think that's great news.
You seem a little shocked by something.
No, it's all right. I'm overthinking, aren't I? What does he mean by that? Excuse me? I don't understand. What is that foreshadowing? Oh my god, I'm in the dark, aren't I? No. Names of victims and places. Last entry was October 31st. Okay. Names of victim, dates, places, and stuff. What in particular?
Well, besides the victims' names, and the other name kept cropping up.
Let me guess, Shin.
It's one I told you yesterday. The same name written over and over again.
You mean Asa Shin, right? Oh god, sorry. That was not the controllers for once.
That's the one. She's a friend of yours or something, ain't she?
Were you listening yesterday? At all?
Shin, the assassin.
What? Like a killer, you mean?
Gregson was the tactician, the one who came up with the plan of attack. He investigated the marks thoroughly, finding out when they would be vulnerable, and who to use to get to them.
But person actually executing his plan was someone else, you're saying? If that's true, then the Reaper does indeed start to sound like an organized group of vigilantes. Then perhaps what it said on the passport document. Permission for one oh my god, it was Shin. But she's dead! I don't get that. Clearly the assassin who was meant to take Shishiro Jigoku's life. But Gina, can you confirm this? Against the final entry that lists Grouse and Shishiro Jigoku, what name was written?
Well, that's the only entry didn't have a name next to it.
Oh, I see. Then okay. If one arm is gone, which is Shin, who's left? That's the remainder of the Reaper's assassins, I guess? I don't know.
It just add like a question mark or something there, I think.
In other words, Gregson himself didn't know the identity of the assassin in that case.
Well, Gregson was the one making the plans, was he not?
How infuriating.
But that's our guy. A nameless assassin. That's the real killer of Gregson. We got it. Now it's all left is, reverse engineer it, right?
It said Grouse to the place of the date, and the name of the mark.
Oh, whoops, sorry. Let's go in order. We're already in this much trouble. And you're saying that mark listed was Shishiro Jigoku?
Oh, that's what I said. Funny name if you ask me. I thought your name was odd, and I thought your name was odd. Oh my god. So pleased to have lost my crown. Oh goodness. Second place. Never felt so bad.
Mr. Jigoku is the presiding judge of Japan's Supreme Court of Judicature. I remember the man. He came to our country as a visiting student 16 years ago.
Studying in the eternal law and diplomacy under your tutelage, Lord Strongarm.
That bearded young fellow was a very able man, I must say. So Lord Strongarm was Judge Jigoku's mentor. All right. If I'm not mistaken, he returned to Japan years ago now.
10 years ago, after that fateful case.
Precisely. If the aftermath of the professor case, his reputation was organized immediately. Organized? Run that by me one more time. What does that mean? It's a mystery why such a man would be listed in the inspector's notebook.
I didn't think it was possible, but the mood nears got even worse now. Maybe I'll just keep talking.
Okay. No problem. Do your thing. There's no book about being a criminal what got away from the Reaper 10 years ago. Hold it! Is that Jigoku? What do you mean a criminal? He's not a criminal, he's a judge!
Look, but don't ask me. I don't know nothing about it. Oh, do you remember what Father told us? Judge Jigoku did once appear in court.
Yeah, and he caused a ruckus. It was related to the professor case. Of course, you're right. Does Jigoku know something that's really bad? For, the current aristocracy or something?
So she was trying to mitigate Genshin's guilt, so he took the stand to testify. But he got a little carried away and managed to break the stand. He has also said some contemporaneous words about the British Empire and was charged.
Charged? So he is a criminal. In some sense.
It was a pitiful situation, yes. I'd forgotten all about it. But I prosecuted that trial, too, as it happens.
You did?
It was considered to be an adjutant to the professor proceedings, you see. But he was acquitted after being told to make reparation for the damage caused.
The stand, okay. He got away with it. Dan Zieks, you've always been bad at this. And there you have it.
Of what?
Surely the accused hasn't forgotten his own rule. That there's no saving anyone who faces the Reaper in court, guilty or innocent alike. Including Judge Jigoku? You're kidding. Are you suggesting the reason Judge Jigoku was the target of an assassin? The man was sent back to Japan immediately after the trial. The Reaper had no time to do his work. But then, 10 years later, the mark returned to Britain once more. Perhaps now you start to see just how vindictive the Reaper truly is. No, that's ridiculous! Come on, that's absurd! You take someone's life for that? A silly rumor? Isn't the whole premise of the Reaper absurd? Killing those who have been found innocent. Clearly the rules by which the man operates are beyond a sane person's comprehension. But, no. That's, oh my god, Gina.
Right, just enough of this.
What?
All this nonsense. But the boss planning to kill people, it's cobblers. Come on, Odo.
I'm trying. What do you want me to do?
Why ain't you saying nothing? Why ain't you yelling out objection or something?
I mean, Gina, you probably did it.
You gotta find a flaw. You usually do. Someone's lying here, no question. You gotta work it out. Please, for the boss.
Jesus. Okay. I mean,
that outburst was an insult to the court and your own testimony! I might have known that a common pickpocket from the back slums couldn't make a detective.
Whoa! Whoa! Way out of line, Buster! She's more than capable than you! Freaking dork! You goddamn sideburns! Sick burn, I know.
When the trial's over, you will forfeit your warrant card, Miss Lestrade. Is that clear?
I've had enough of that lot of you. It's lies every bleeding place you look in this world. Well, I had enough.
My god. So have I. After a little speech of Gina's, I've made up my mind. To do what, Mr. Naruhodo? There was one point in this cross-examination when something that was said just didn't sit right with me. One statement that seemed odd. Do you mean... I'm not going to let Gina plea for help fall on deaf ears. What? What? Excuse me? Come on, Odo, help. You gotta find one flaw. Well, it's gotta be this! One flaw in the case. In the case. Or maybe a trunk. Let me look in here again. I got nothing. But we could we... Hold it! Did we do this? I want to thank you, Gina. You helped me find my resolve.
I did what?
What do you mean? Amongst everything we've heard during this cross-examination, there's one thing that defies explanation. One inconsistency. Well, can you tell us already? Because I don't effing know.
An inconsistency? What?
Oh, Zieks, you don't look so happy.
Really, Odo?
I don't quite know what it means yet, but... yes, there's an inconsistency in something that was said by... Are you effing joking? I don't effing know! Well, he's not here. She's not here. Okay, process of elimination. And he's effing dead. Well, we could say, she's a fantastic detective. You shut up, Strongheart. But that's not going to work. Is it Gina? Well, that's not going to make her look any better. Who else is in the courtroom right now? It's obviously not me. Well, I mean, it's worth a shot.
Take that!
What'd you say? What'd you say that was messed up? Kazuma Asogi, you messed up!
Me? Is this some attempt at filibustering, counsel?
Maybe. I think so.
Prosecutor Asogi has given no testimony.
What are you suggesting I said was inconsistent? You let something slip that you shouldn't have. When I presented the relevant piece of evidence, I imagine you realize what you've done. I don't get it.
Go ahead. What evidence reveals this alleged inconsistency?
Oh my god! I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Okay, we haven't talked about any of this. What evidence was brought up? It's just this. This is the only piece we've talked about. And we don't physically have the book with us right now. This is only Inspector's identification. And the Asogi papers are not relevant either. If we did this, we would get thrown out of court. So it's either the passport or the trunk.
My initial impressions were correct. This is nonsense.
Dang it. Okay. Fine. Fine.
Clearly, the Ryunosuke Naruhodo I knew is dead.
Whoa! Struck down by my best friend. I believe what you intend to point out, Mr. Naruhodo, was when Kazuma said... Okay, thank God.
Because at the time, he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France.
At the time, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal
Oh!
How did he know that's where we got that? That's exactly it.
I take it from your expression that you're not going to let this go.
Correct, my lord. I made a mistake, that's all. Kazuma. You let something slip that you shouldn't have. When I presented the relevant piece of information, I imagine you realize what you've done. Okay.
Take that!
How did you know what was in the trunk? You had to have seen this before. This is a trunk that belonged to Inspector Gregson.
A metal construction, is it? It's certainly very heavy. What is this? A blood stain? And a relatively fresh one.
What are the implications of this? You mean that ain't grease from the boss's fish and chips?
It's red. Fresh blood on the inspector's trunk. That suggests that the victim was traveling with that luggage when he was killed. That can't be! There was no mention of any trunk in Scotland Yard's report!
Well, yeah, it kind of got stolen. Immediately after the inspector's body was discovered. Mr. Sandwich, yoinked it. Trying to sell it. But I found it. Me. With me nose for trouble. Which means that nobody should have known anything about the trunk. Unless, of course, we're talking about somebody who was present when the victim was killed. Are you... Kazuma? What? There's no way, right? And yet, during the cross-examination of the witness just now, you said this, Kazuma!
Because at the time he was making his way to France, as indicated by this passport found in the trunk,
which we just opened just now. Dude, how did you know about the inspector's trunk? If you were not also on the ship.
We know the man went on a trip to France. Which, where else would he have put his passport?
That's ridiculous. You expect me to believe that? You knew it was a metal trunk! Answer me honestly, Kazuma. I mean, he even looks like a wallet guy. On October 31st, where were you?
at the port of Dunkirk, on board the SS Grouse. And is that the answer you're looking for?
Kazuma. You gotta be kidding me. I hadn't considered the possibility before, but if Kazuma were on the ship, then it could only have been one person. Oh no. Surely, you don't think...
Come on, Ryunosuke. You know the rules. The only thing that really talks in the courtroom is hard evidence.
Yeah. Dude, when I saw that slash mark, I had a feeling.
As I understand, Inspector Gregson always took that case with him when he traveled. So as it stands, you've proven nothing.
Kazuma! Are you challenging me to prove it beyond all reasonable doubt? Implicating you? You were here the day the same... You were in the same place as the inspector!
He was there? With Gregson?
There's a clue that you've overlooked. A secret. That trunk can tell us. I can't be sure at this point. I need to verify it. I have a nasty feeling I'm going to be right.
The accusation being made is deeply disturbing, but nevertheless, we must test it. The defense will identify the court where the trunk-alleged clue can be found.
It's not hard, man. He takes it everywhere he goes, even onto a ship.
Got it!
This is sick. And not in the, like, you know, I did a 720 spin, you know?
What do you say to that, Prospector Asogi? I'm actually a prosecutor, my lord. Personally, I think tying the defense counsel to the inspector's trunk and tossing it in the sea would be more help.
What? Excuse me?
At least that way, London's courtrooms will be safe from his destructive accusations.
I believe that was a rather long-winded way of telling you that you're wrong, Mr. Naruto.
Very well. Then let us see if you sink or swim under the weight of penalty.
You gotta be joking!
Mr. Naruto, you can't allow yourself to drown at sea yet.
Yet? I was never hoping to have that happen at all, actually. Okay. Where else could be a clue be? I don't get it. If that's a slash... I mean, anybody could have a sword. I guess. Let's open it up. Anything inside that maybe I missed? Oh my god. Yeah, big time. That's not just any sword. If he can unsheath his sword and it's... Oh my god. Did you see that? There's something stuck in the side of the trunk.
It looks like the fragment of metal. It's wedged in so tightly I can't remove it.
Don't cut yourself. You better leave it, I think.
Got it!
Holy dump. There's a small piece of metal lodged in the wall of the trunk here. Like the tip of a blade. Dude. Kazuma, slung around your waist as ever today, is the esteemed blade Karuma.
Of course it is.
Won't you draw it? Here in this courtroom? For all to see.
Exercise caution, my learned friend. That man is the son of London's most notorious killer. Bailiff, watch Prosecutor Asogi like a hawk.
That won't be necessary. There it is.
No.
The tip. It's broken. Ugh. If the fragment of metal from the trunk fits together with the end of the sword, the question of who was there with Inspector Gregson will be answered. But Kazuma, if you were gonna kill him, why didn't you chuck the trunk? Do you agree with me, Kazuma Asogi? This is evil, pure and
Expertly done, Ryunosuke. That's a point to you, and well deserved. Do you mean to tell the court, Prosecutor Asogi? Yes. On October 31st, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission.
The additional person. It couldn't have been Shin. It was you. Is this just like an agreement between the Empire and Japan? Like, come on.
Bring me your finest Japanese assassin, on the double. Goodness me.
Yes, it was me.
And the mission?
The assassination of the Mark. What? You're going to kill Jigoku? I don't understand! You mean you're the killer whose name was omitted from this notebook? You were following the Reaper's orders to dispatch Judge Jigoku. Let me make one thing perfectly clear. I have killed no one. Even Gregson?
Explain!
I accepted the assassination mission, yes. And I accompanied Gregson to Dunkirk. But I never had an intention of carrying out the plan. You were never going to do it. Like, man, you're my best friend. I want to believe that, but...
We can believe Kazuma-sama, I'm sure. After all, Judge Jigoku arrived safely in London.
You're right. But then who killed Gregson? On the 31st, I boarded a train from London with Inspector Gregson. We traveled to Dover, where we crossed the channel to Dunkirk. When we boarded the SS Grouse, made a way for the cabin deck, as indicated in the plan.
You went to Judge Jigoku's cabin?
Exactly. He wasn't there, though. We decided to wait, but... You've already told us you had no intention of going through with it. Then why wait? I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life. So I left Gregson and disembarked the ship. I spent the night at a boarding house in town and returned to England the following morning. I want to believe you, but... This plan just doesn't make sense. A boarding house in Dunkirk. Okay. My signature will be in the register book. It will be simple enough to verify.
Then what became of Jigoku?
Gregson was no assassin, so the Mark was spared. I'm sure it's easy enough to imagine what happened after that.
No!
Gregson returned to England as well. Having failed to complete the mission, he met with the Reaper in that room on Fresno Street to report the failure, causing the infuriated mastermind to pull the trigger. And end his wretched agent's life. Dog, everyone's just like, no, you're the Reaper. No, you're the Reaper. No, you did it. Dog, that's the real truth behind Inspector Gregson's murder.
Objection!
Preposterous. But if you did nothing as you claim, how did the tip of your sword come to be lodged in the inspector's trunk?
I need not answer.
Whatever!
The victim was killed by a gunshot. A small fragment of a Japanese blade isn't relevant to the crime. Accordingly, I chose to exercise my right of silence on that matter. What is happening here?
Be that as it may, the court will sequester the sword as evidence.
What's going on with that chest? As you wish, my lord. God, that must sting. Great sword Kuruma. The prized sword tip has a piece missing. I mean, there's a chance. That's not... I'm coping, dude.
Must take immediate action now to verify whether Sashiro Jigoku remains unharmed.
Wait, remains? I agree. That should be our first priority. It's recently come to my attention that he hasn't been seen since yesterday. You're kidding. When a foreign dignitary invited to Great Britain goes missing for 24 hours, it's only natural that the question of his safety should arise. You don't mean to say... You think they got him? Judge Jigoku's been killed? The Reaper has more than one assassin at his disposal. And he has the power and influence to give orders from the inside of a prison cell. Isn't that right, Lord Van Zieks? Yeah, he's already made mention he has, underlings. He didn't put it that way, but... If I were truly the Reaper, I'd be able to tell you. Jesus, I'm scared.
Order in the court. We will take an emergency recess for 30 minutes.
Wait, now?
Guests of the symposium have been told to maintain regular contact with the organized offices. The man can be located within half an hour. We will have to assume the worst.
No, not Jigoku.
No one would want to kill a harmless Japanese man who'd only just arrived in the country. Except that is for the Reaper, wanting to finish a mark that slipped away. I would have to agree. My God, we sound similar when I'm not screaming. Has anyone else noticed that? Mr. Naruhodo, for the defense's sake.
My lord?
I sincerely hope we are successful. If we're unable to confirm Mr. Jigoku's healthy existence in the next 30 minutes, you will face grave difficulties.
There's nothing I can do about it. It's out of my hands.
Court is adjourned for 30 minutes.
Okay. Now what? Oh my god, that was like a speed run. Excuse me?
Kazuma, the Reaper's assassin. I feel as though I'm in a nightmare.
I can hardly believe it either. But on the other hand, Kazuma isn't in the habit of making up stories. His alibi's so shaky.
I have such a terrible sense of foreboding. If something awful had happened to Judge Jigoku, then I feel as though things will only spiral further and further out of control.
Well, from the moment I stepped in the courtroom this morning, that strange sensation that we were careening towards a foregone conclusion. Well, worst case scenario, we might only have 30 minutes left. Fortunately, though, I don't think there's anything we can do but wait. We're out of options.
Actually, there may be one last chance.
Huh?
Or rather, we have one last ear.
What? Oh,
The little Mr. Sholmes doll that Iris gave us.
what about it?
For some reason, you don't know what to do. Pull her these little ears.
Okay, whatever. Perhaps now is the time.
What should I do? Gee, I wonder.
Here goes nothing!
Good luck, Mr. Naruhodo.
What is going to happen? No looking back. Ow? Who said that?
That scream. It was Mr. Sholmes.
What? Mr. Sholmes? Did Iris make a voodoo doll? Where are you?
Here, my dear fellow, here!
It's the felt doll. She made a walkie-talkie? There's no other explanation. What is this?
Pull the ears again, Mr. Naruhodo. As hard as you can.
All right then. I'll put all my strength into it.
Oh! Please, my dear fellows, you don't need to pull my ear off.
Sholmes, where are you?
Myself and my trusty partner
He's on the ship again?
are presently in the first-class cabin area of the SS Grouse.
The Grouse.
She left over last night after the final pieces of cargo were loaded.
And that's you?
We're currently docked in Dunkirk, but due to underway again in half an hour.
You've taken a ship to France.
Please, you make it sound like it's a vacation.
Well, I guess Sholmes would say holiday.
Even with my athletic prowess, I would struggle to jump the Straits of Dover. After we left Baker Street last night, we hurried by cab to the station and by train to the port, in order to board this very vessel in time.
You'd already worked it out. You're joking. The steamship was where everything really took place.
Mr. Naruhodo, pray, what is my name again?
The very great Herlock Sholmes, world-famous detective.
Ah, it is recited to perfection. Well done.
You're a genius, Sholmes. That's the only word for it.
Ow, 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 ow.
What is this device?
Mr. Sato, gently with the genius ear, please.
Oh my, I'm so sorry.
If I may, Sholmes. Ah, there you are, Mikotoba. You may remember that it was in fact I who made the connection to the SS Grouse. Scotland Yard yesterday, when we examined that notebook, I recalled my steamship ticket.
That's what the telegram was for?
Of course it was, my dear fellow. And not once did I controvert that fact. Merely had our court-bound companion utter my name. Yes, you did, didn't you?
You just entered a recess. The trial resumes in 30 minutes.
And if we're unable to present any new leads, I'm afraid to say.
Do not fret, please. It's for precisely that purpose that my partner and I made this journey. I have no doubt we shall have welcome news for you within the hour.
Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. That'd be wonderful.
Until later, then.
Yes. You'll be learning of us until you... Wait, won't be hearing us until you're in touch first.
Ow, 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 ow. I shan't be hearing anything if you keep tugging at my ear in that mindless fashion. Whatever was the idea behind making a receiver operate in that way in the first place, Sholmes?
Why the deuce should I know? It's Iris's invention, not mine. Well, well, well. We started with a ship, and I guess we're ending with one. How clever we reuse assets.
Whilst I know how much you enjoy being the hero of the hour, Sholmes, we are but at half. That now before the Grouse puts to sea again. If we don't conclude our investigation rapidly, we shall find ourselves in Naples before long. There are times, Mikotoba, when you make a surprising amount of sense. So, let us begin.
All right, here we go.
First class cabin, number 2. Yes, this is the one. But I don't believe an investigation of the cabin is going to be plain sailing.
Oh, this guy? Wait, no, he looks different. Is he different? I don't remember. He's got a new outfit on.
That crewman standing in front of the door is an angry-looking fellow.
Why are you loitering here? Who are you?
My dear fellow, do you not recognize a world-famous great detective when you see one? The question really ought to be, who are you?
Do you not recognize world-traveling great sailor Chicken Stroganoff when you see? Great detective, huh? I don't think so.
Stroganoff. So it is you. Wait. What's on your arm? Do you see that?
Do you see that, Mikotoba? I see that. It appears that this man is a devout follower of mine.
He's a fan?
Goodness me. Is that a tattoo? Says Sholmes in plain English? Even though he's a Russian. I must say, while such adoration is flattering, naturally, it does leave me a little cold.
What are you talking about? Leave now!
How distressing my loyal devotee knows me only by name and not by appearance. Ugh. And yet I already know a great deal about you, sir. You have a brother, I believe. Oh, like yourself, he's a shipman. Currently traveling the world abroad, a Russian steamship, in fact.
How could you know this?
Elementary, my dear Mikotoba. I'm sure it was. 3 days ago, I was bound for London aboard this ship. You see, we're looking for one of my fellow passengers, a man by the name of Jigoku.
There's no one with name on board.
But we know that he purchased a ticket for passage.
You mean Eastern man? He left ship 2 hours. Here at Dunkirk. He said something about emergency, I think.
What? Are you sure? So Shishira really realized that we're after him, was he?
What?
His cabin is the one behind you. We'd like to investigate, please.
No! I've orders not to let even mouse inside.
I suppose that one on the floor there is your orders. Mikotoba, be a good man and draw this sailor's attention, would you? Make up some excuse that he leaves the area.
Easier said than done. You said that right in his face.
Doesn't great detective see? Even sailor obvious, both left and right.
Curses!
He's sharper than I thought. It's not very kind, is it?
You've only yourself to blame, I'm afraid, Sholmes. It's a big error.
Forget it, cabin door's locked. Even if I am not here, you cannot get inside.
Makes you kind of redundant, doesn't it?
Mikotoba, I'm sure you haven't forgotten my special talent, have you? Opening any lock? With a mere 5 seconds.
So if you'd be so kind as to afford me the requisite time, old friend, in your typically accommodating manner.
How could I refuse such a typically unappealing request? So I need to distract that burly sailor for 5 seconds, do I? Good man. So, the game is afoot.
All right, we can handle this. Don't mind me, just gonna cause a ruckus.
Should appear to be an alarm bell. Ah, heck. Would break loose if this thing were to ring. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm already decided. Here goes nothing!
What you doing? If we are seen, that will be very bad problem.
What's going on down there? Seaman Stroganoff, report at once.
Sorry, sir. Nothing to report. It was just stupid trick. Not by me, but no. As I told you.
Now, Sholmes, go. And done. Not even 5 seconds, huh?
Well, don't stand there gawping at my billiards.
Mikatoba, in we go. Oh, yes.
That's really it? That was pretty easy. Holy dump, I thought that was gonna be a big deal. Guess I was wrong. Thanks, just like it used to be.
Good gracious. It would appear that the occupant in this cabin did indeed disembark rather hurriedly. Those clothes on the floor. They're Shishiro's, without question.
Well, it seems we're just a little too late.
Yes, by 2 hours.
Where is the guy? Still, once we're here, we should investigate thoroughly. There may be 2 hours worth of clues to find.
That burly crewman may return at any moment.
Indeed he may. Which makes this all the more thrilling. Ha ha ha! Oh, God. Alright, let's check this.
Quite the exquisite glass, I must say. Let's see here. Is something wrong, Sholmes? You suddenly trailed off.
Ice, Mikatoba, ice. What opulence the first-class passengers enjoy. Chilled drinks.
I beg your pardon?
Could it be that this steamship is equipped with an electronic refrigerator, cold room? What do you think?
Well, it is a luxury liner, after all. They have enormous refrigerators for storing all sorts of lavish produce as well as ice. On our voyage from Japan, we enjoyed culinary delights from all over the world.
Gentlemen, now is not the time. Suddenly, Mikatoba, the sight of you is making my mouth water. What the? Whoa! The rotten girls are gonna have a field day with this scene.
Haven't taken on the flavor of the food I ate, you know. I reckon I taste rather bad, rather poor.
All right, what we got in here?
It's a wastebasket. Look, there's rubbish inside.
Indeed. Then let us pry. I've discovered recently I have a penchant for exploring the contents of other waste paper baskets.
I sincerely hope only for your work.
No, it's a bit of a hobby of mine. I'm thinking of going pro.
Ah!
Well, would you look at this? A notice issued to passengers from 3 days ago.
3 days? The night before we arrived in London, when I was still abroad myself. Not aboard, actually.
Evacuation drill notice, October 31st. Following. Oh, what the? It was on screen for 2 seconds!
Yes, there's an evacuation drill. I remember. For our safety and security, all first-class passengers were constantly under the watchful eye of the crew. So it was a welcome relief to have some privacy for once.
Okay, add to the record. That's what I like to see. And don't. Wait, how do I get to the record? What? Alright then. I guess we'll have Naruhodo worry about that.
There's a speaking tube. Look! Oh, it's been stuffed with some cloth. So the voices of the crewmen on the bridge aren't an annoyance, I suppose.
Or indeed, so that the voices in the cabin aren't heard elsewhere. That's what I was thinking.
Could something have happened in here? That there was no one else could hear, do you think?
Either that, or it could be to prevent snakes from entering.
That's really become a favorite case of yours, hasn't it?
Goodness. Okay, was that just a joke? I guess so. What about this rather large chest? There's a sizable... trunk would be a way better phrase, sorry.
Sashiro is partial to all large things. A rather clumsy fellow if he failed to notice he'd left that behind. Perhaps he left it on purpose. It's lighter than you might think. Still a hindrance to a speedy escape.
Well, anything in there? Like a stowaway?
Pity. It's locked.
So it can't look.
What? Surely 5 seconds from now, the situation will be quite different, though, yes?
Sadly not. Has a 7-digit combination lock. And I'm not a morose enough mood to work through all the combinations at present. Yeah, we don't have the time for that. I mean, worst case scenario, you could just kind of chop it open, you know? Well, if you had a sword nearby.
According to the report I was given, Naruhodo was concealing himself in Asogi's wardrobe.
Indeed he was. And it was of a similar size to this one. Ah, you must climb yourself in, my dear fellow.
What? Whatever for?
It's the sight of my first fateful meeting with Mr. Naruhodo. I suppose I'm feeling nostalgic. You can experience the moment for yourself, complete with dramatic rhetoric. Come along now. If you go, this will only take a moment.
Really? Sholmes? So you can just tell me what you said. What you said?
So you can just tell me what you said. Reenact it that way. Well, I uttered some brilliant remark and opened the wardrobe to reveal the stowaway murderer.
I think I'll just read the adventures of Herlock, Sholmes. Second thought.
All right, let's turn the camera. Well, this is odd.
The wall's slightly different color here. You see?
Indeed. Well, you have observed a rise when a frame that has been hanging for some time is removed. Perhaps your friend is an art thief.
Now there's a bold deduction worthy of a great detective, I'm sure.
He may very well be the elusive thief who's been plaguing France's galleries of late.
I think perhaps we should focus our attention elsewhere, Sholmes. What say you? That outline on the wall. Feels I might have spotted something.
Okay, we get it. Oh, whoa, buddy, hey!
You! Still here?
Able Seaman Stroganoff, hello again. Take a seat. Stay a while.
I was beginning to think you'd never materialize.
You waiting for me?
Of course. I was expecting you to burst in with a haughtily Russian profanity.
Far sooner I was in trouble, Captain, 'cause you played trick before.
Poor innocent chicken.
It's all your fault. Ship is leaving port soon. Get off, now!
Of course, we shall disembark presently, my dear fellow. But first, there is something that must be done.
What are you talking about?
Why, naturally. The debunking of your deceit and the baring of the truth.
Kakoi?
I'm afraid I see through your lies. For one thing, Mr. Jigoku has not yet left this vessel. And for another, my dear Seaman Stroganoff, you know exactly where the man is as we speak, don't you?
How can you?
Good gracious, Sholmes, you mean you worked it out? All of it?
If you have to ask. It's really been too long, hasn't it, old friend? 10 years, no less. You doubt my abilities. So, would you care to join me for a dance of my imitable logic and reasoning?
Nothing pleased me more, Sholmes.
What is this? Spotlight! I am no ballerina!
We are but minutes until the vessel's put to sea. No games now. It's time for a dance.
Woo! They're so back!
Time is of the essence. How's this gonna go? Mr. Stroganoff, allow me to remind you of your earlier claim. You told us that Jigoku left the ship some 2 hours ago.
That is what I said.
Sadly, that was a rather clumsy lie. You see, there is something in this room that quite clearly contradicts it. The ice?
What?
Of course.
I see you've noticed it too, Mikotoba. Then please, take the lead. This is so cool. This is so cool. What in this cabin shows the impossibility of Jigoku having disembarked 2 hours ago? Let's see, what was the last 3 years have done to your observation skills then, Mikotoba?
It's been 10 years since We last did this, Sholmes. Now 3, you know.
Why, of course it has. Quite. Now, all the clues are here in this cabin for your eyes to see. But as I always say, you must not merely look, but observe. And the answers become clear. So impress me.
I think I can manage that.
You know, if I knew he was going to be a character that appeared this long, I would have given him an easier voice to do. Just saying, that's why I think I will sound when I'm a little older. That is what he sounds like? I was so off base. Oh my god. It is what it is. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Oh, he's got moves! Sasato's got the throws, he's got the dance, okay!
Perhaps you should have cleared away that glass.
How curious that the ice should have melted despite it being abandoned 2 hours ago. Gah! It appeared that the man here in this very cabin until moments before our arrival, with this well-chilled glass in hand.
Get your mind out of the refreshments, Sholmes.
And on to the dance. One might even conclude that somebody informed him of our boarding. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Stroganoff?
But why would Shishiro run from us?
Before we consider that question, allow me to confirm one small matter. Would I be correct in saying that these first-class cabins on the SS Grouse are the same ones in which you and Mr. Jigoku were accommodated on your voyage from Japan?
That's right, they are. I was in the cabin next door, and Shishiro was, yes, 50 days in the very cabin during our voyage.
As I suspected. For you see, there are traces in this cabin of a dark secret that Mr. Jigoku had to hide. Huh?
What traces you speak of?
I know nothing of this! This is news to you, is it, Mr. Stroganoff? Oh.
Sholmes, what are you getting at?
As I said, there are traces in this cabin of some nefarious activity, something that appears out of place, which I'm quite sure won't have escaped your notice.
Something out of place. Okay, that's the key to this, Mikotoba.
The remnants of the dark deed that took place here are... okay. It's gotta be that thing he moved. I must say, I didn't foresee ever doing this dance of deduction with you again.
No, quite. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, as well you'll know. Now then, let's see if I can't uncover the truth here.
Yes, you have the floor, my dear fellow. Well, dark deed being masked by something. A mask would imply the facade has been changed, not necessarily something is being obstructed. So I'm going with this. It's out of place, and it's frankly weird. Okay, you got it. Again.
That's the only move I know. It's the rules of passage. And the frame here. They're obviously out of place. The way they're hanging crooked on the wall. As if they were put there in a hurry.
Yes. As I'm sure you've already concluded, that frame was originally over there. The shape and size are a perfect match.
You are right. When did frame move?
Hardly the most observant of crewmen, are you, Mr. Stroganoff? I would think your captain is quite justified in having his reservations about your reliability.
Because of you.
Oh dear, that really seemed to touch a nerve. So, Mikotoba?
Sorry, there's something in my mouth. Why don't you lift that frame off the wall? What is it concealing? Whoa! A bullet hole? Is this where... No. Is this where Gregson died?
That looks like a bullet hole.
Who has been shooting walls?
I see. The projectile has been removed. Clearly, the careful occupant of this room has already disposed of it. Now then, Mr. Stroganoff, I have the distinct impression that you're attempting to shield said occupant.
I don't know what you're talking about. Why would I try to protect Eastern stranger?
So we're talking about the same man, I see. Good, good. How did you know he was Eastern, Mr. Stroganoff? I mean, I'm not Eastern. I'm sure we can get to the bottom of this in no time, aren't you? Because there's some very noteworthy evidence that explains the reason why you're lying for the man. Yes, you've been told to keep up this pretense as clearly shown by... Alright, this one might be tricky.
I really don't know how to approach this one, Sholmes. Ah, my dear Mikatoba,
Simply keep first principles in mind. Study your subject from the very angle. And I'm quite sure you'll see it. In fact, I'd put a wager on it.
so I'm to glare at the fellow from all sides. Well, I can certainly do that.
Okay, his gaze is... You're kidding me. Why is Stroganoff covering for someone? Well, if we follow his gaze... Is it... I mean, he's probably to look out for Sholmes. But then who would tell him to be wary of him? Right? Did I get it right? Ah, bummer.
Aye, fiddlesticks.
Mikatoba, no games now. That was an honest guess. So patronizing.
Come, Sholmes. Where's the fun in life with a little round of fooling around?
Fooling around. How old is Iris again? Quite right you are.
Ah, goodness. That was a close shave. Better rethink. Now before I'm the fool here.
The whole game's been telling us to follow the gaze. But, wait, nationality didn't come into it. What do you say?
So a Russian crewman is aiding a Japanese man to evade capture by an English detective.
Nationality needn't come into it. In this respect, at least, all humans are the same. Ask yourself, what can spur a man to do the bidding of another? Whom he knows precious little. A bribe? There's only one thing in the whole world with such repugnant, bottomless power.
Let's not get carried away, Sholmes. It is the root of all evil, I suppose.
Yeah, there it is. Banknotes? Jigoku's a briber? What? Oh my god. Looks like Naruhodo's gonna be the new judge back in Japan.
It's almost too obvious for words. You really should get a wallet, you know. At least a billfold.
I guess it's the same thing. Quite. The universal language of the world. Money.
And I'd wager that Eastern fellow in question is Sashiro Jigoku. Yes? So I presume you realize what this means. There are clear signs that a crime has been committed in this very cabin. And the way you're going, sir, won't find yourself accused of being an accomplice.
But... And really, you've already been paid. Why not double-cross? I believe you know, Mr. Stroganoff. You know where Mr. Jigoku is hiding at this precise moment. What? He looks down? Oh no, he's in the thing? As always, Mikatoba, it's a matter of deduction. The furtive glance of your unfaltering ally.
I think you're onto something there, Sholmes. You found the chink in this burly fellow's armor.
We need only follow the man's gaze. Way ahead of you. Slightest flicker of the pupils. Hey, minutely delayed blink. Nothing escapes my attention, even which is barely perceptible.
You could hardly call this barely perceptible, Sholmes. He looked right at the thing. His head turned completely. It's not exactly what we describe as a furtive glance, is it? It's almost too easy.
We shall let your tapping toes decide, my fellow. Well, where is... Okay, that is super bad. Wait, is that Sholmes? I can't tell if that's Susato or not. Not Susato, but Mikatoba.
You turned immediately to look at the large trunk, didn't you?
Did I?
Truth is, Sashiro Jigoku was unable to escape from the ship in time, and is, at the very moment, doing his best to stifle his breath inside this trunk.
And he still has a breath to take. I fear he may be running dangerously low on air.
Oh, well now.
I imagine he didn't count on us making a nuisance of ourselves for quite so long. I think it'd be in everyone's best interest for us to open the trunk as quickly as possible.
But how can we? Are forgetting about the lock? We don't know the 7-digit code.
The combination lock can't be opened from the inside of the trunk. Therefore, there must be an arrangement for somebody to open it after departure.
Of course.
In short, before Jigoku hid himself inside that trunk, he must have told somebody the 7-digit number code. And I'm willing to bet it's Mr. Stroganoff. No, I know nothing about the combination code! Nothing!
Don't move a muscle, my dear seaman.
Ah?
Now, Mikatoba, Would you do the honor and open the trunk? How on earth do you expect me to...
Oh. That doesn't say Sholmes. Oh my god, this game is crazy.
It's a 7-digit number, remember? Quickly now, we have little time.
Goodness. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay. So, Sholmes. Oh, I don't... Oh, they just let you review it. Okay, I was about to say, that's going to be really hard. So, 563-1045. 4, 5.
Take that!
Get at it! Wait, I did in reverse.
It's refusing to open. Tell me, what number did you use? Well, to begin with, I thought I'd try my birthday. Your birthday? When were you born, man? BC?
Interesting. Since as of today, with that absurd guesswork, you're dead to me.
As magic as ever in response, Sholmes. Goodness.
Well, okay. It was a 50-50 shot if he wrote it upside down or not. 5. The only number... Sorry, it's upside down. The only number he doesn't do is 2. Can you make a 2 like that? I have a keyboard right in front of me. I mean, I guess. Whatever. I'm logging it in. If I fail, so be it.
Take that!
Oh, thank goodness. Woo! Numbers. Math major, by the way. Come on, get out of here, you big old buffoon. What are you doing? Come on.
That did it. It opened.
You had to meddle, didn't you?
Whoa. Dude, not cool, man. What's going...
Well, Eugen, you found me.
Sashiro, what is going on here?
Yo.
I was really hoping beyond hope not to find you here, you know?
But you're not entirely unsurprised, I take it?
No, quite. I just wish it were some other way.
Well, are you ever going to introduce me?
Your reputation precedes you, Mr. Sholmes. I've read stories of your many exploits.
Excuse my manners, Sholmes. This is Mr. Jigoku, my old friend and traveling companion.
The devil is in the details, Migatoba. I believe you meant to say your old friend and traveling companion, who made the cowardly decision to flee the country without word to anyone when things turned sour.
I see my reputation precedes me as well. What an honor.
Well, come on, man. What's going on here? Sashiro.
Are you going to explain all this?
You know it all by now, I imagine. What you didn't know, of course, is that 3 days ago, on the night before our arrival in Britain, an attempt was made on my life here on this very ship.
What?
By the Reaper of the Bailey. Yes, I've since heard. Because you were once prosecuted by the Reaper. They want to keep up appearances, mind you.
I had no idea at the time what a dangerous individual he was. Anyway, when we arrived in London to find the symposium was postponed until goodness who knows when, it became all too apparent to me that I might very well be targeted again.
So you decided to flee, without saying a word about it.
I'm afraid so, yes. Of course, I realize now that I really ought to have confided in you, my old friend.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, thank goodness. You know, for a second there, I don't know. I thought he was up to something nefarious, but I mean, you know, he's just thinking of his own self-preservation. Nothing wrong with that. If you can't trust stinking Migatoba, who can you trust? It's somewhat surprising, I must say.
What is?
Well, first-class cabins aboard luxury steamships are very short supply. It's more than a little hard to believe that this one just happened to be available.
So says the protagonist of some colorful short stories. Well, I don't care for your opinion.
Sassy.
The cabin did just happen to be available, so I purchased a ticket, and here I am.
I've just seen for myself the obvious remnants of that incident here in the cabin. So you already purchased your return ticket before we even docked in Dover, had you? To prevent anything else taking this cabin and seeing the evidence. Is that it?
Eugen, I've nothing to say to you.
What? Whoa, so cold! Well, in a mere 5 minutes, the ship will set off on its onward voyage, and not make port again until Italy. I'm afraid we must insist you disembark with us at once.
You have no jurisdiction over my movements.
Oh, man. Sashiro.
We have this, Sashiro. Take it.
Huh? Oh, a court summons. Is that it?
What is it?
A subpoena. From the Old Bailey. You're a man of the law. You know what the ramifications of ignoring a document like this would be.
Oh no. You came prepared then, Eugen.
Come on, let's go.
One moment.
We don't have a moment. Sholmes!
What is it?
Inside Mr. Jigoku's trunk, I found this rather fascinating trinket. Dang, you nosy.
What is it, Sashiro?
I can't help you, I'm afraid. Some small component from something.
You really don't know?
But what? I have no idea.
By the look of his face, I think he's genuine. Okay.
Well, let us pocket it as a small souvenir of our brief sojourn in France. Okay. Small part of a machine. What I'm thinking is there's something to that pocket watch. Doesn't it look like a dial of a pocket watch or something?
Well, young Naruhodo, then we've done as much as we can, I'm afraid. The rest be on the shoulders of you and your assistant.
Yeah, I got it from here, Pops. Not that I'm gonna marry his daughter. That's, I don't know. Like me and the witch girl. Oh, that scene, what, and Miss Scythe, I don't know. Anyway. Like, Maria, is there a man, you have a dad? Let's move on. Not ready to be a father yet. All right, Asogi. I know you and I know you wouldn't lie, but still, there's no doubt that you're holding something back. You know more than you're saying. Oh, God, I gotta do this again.
During the past 30 minutes while this court was adjourned, all possible efforts were expended. But sadly, Mr. Jigoku's whereabouts could not be ascertained.
You must accept the unfortunate conclusion that the Reaper's already done the deed. Did they make it off the ship in time? I don't know. I mean, I hope. There's no sense in wasting any more of the court's time. The prosecution calls for an immediate verdict. But give him a second. Now I'm filibustering. No, the trial cannot end now. You're a Japanese man, Ryunosuke. You should know when to lay down your sword. I'm not even close to that. And you should know never to presume when the battle is won. Regardless of nationality. The court is already presented with all the evidence and heard all relevant testimony. There can only be one conclusion, that the accused is guilty! All relevant testimony? Far from it. There's still a crucial witness, from whom the court is yet to hear a single word of testimony.
In that case, call your witness to the stand at once.
Alright, just gotta sigh. Filibustering. I love filibustering. Alright, my lord. Tomorrow, if possible? The witness is already on his way and scheduled to Oh, right! Who on earth is this crucial witness? Sashiro Jigoku. He's on the way! The very man allegedly murdered by the Reaper. Jigoku! You found him? You look absolutely shocked. How strange.
But the investigation of every policing resource in the capital suggests he's already dead.
How do you know for sure?
How in the name of God did you find the man?
He was located in France during the recess, at the port of Dunkirk. Thanks to one Mr. Herlock Sholmes' famous deductions.
Herlock Sholmes?
Inspector Gregson almost certainly met with Mr. Jigoku on the night of his death. Because, along with Prosecutor Asogi, Gregson was on a mission to assassinate the man. Which means that Sashiro Jigoku is the sole witness. Who can clarify exactly what happened aboard the SS Grouse on the 31st? Well, there you have it. You guys can wait a day, right?
Well, it would appear that it's too soon to move to education at this point.
Sucks to be you. The prosecution concurs. The court must hear Mr. Jigoku's testimony. No judgment should be passed until all testimony has been considered. God, just survive till then, Jigoku. We need you, man. We need you alive.
In that case, I hereby call the end of today's proceedings. Court will reconvene at the same hour tomorrow. No objections from either side?
None, my lord. No objections, my lord.
Oh, thank heavens.
He's keeping it cool, but you know he's a little worried. We live to fight another day by the skin of our teeth. Dang, man. Will he make it? Will he make it in time? I don't know. I'm actually worried he's gonna get killed on the way. Oh, why'd I jinx it? Oh my god!